Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be talking about tips on how to prepare for graduate school interview with a professor or supervisor. You have sent your statement of purpose, you have sent your academic CV and other application documents. It is time for you to prepare for interview because you've received an email from the admission committee or your potential supervisor. Wow, I must tell you, for you to have gotten to this stage, kudos, you have really tried. Because you need to understand that a whole number of people sent their applications and a lot of applications, and only few ones that the professor or the supervisor found their CV, their application document so interesting. They are the few ones that is going to be invited and which you have made it to this stage. So you just have to be confident. You have to, be happy with yourself and just get prepared for you to be able to survive the remaining process. It's not time for you to fidget. So in this video, I'll be talking about what you need to do before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. Before the interview with a professor, what do you need to do? You need to carry out your research. In fact, I can tell you it's as good as saying research continues or you are just starting your research. You wouldn't want to fuck up at this stage. You have to research about the school, check about the professor, his background, his past previous research, his publications, his current research, check about the school, check about the faculty, check about the professor's group, the current research the group is currently working on, and know more about the faculty, the people, the culture, and a whole lot about the city where the school is located. All these will be very good for you if you could do them before the interview. Then during the interview, you need to arrive at the interview venue. It can be Skype, it can be Google Meet, it can be Zoom, but the venue of the interview will be stated and the time. It will make a whole lot of sense for you to, arrive earlier or ahead of time. Then you have to dress well, you have to look good. Some professors say you looking smart, looking good alone. It's awesome for them, and they're already feeling like, wow, I'm gonna work with this guy. You have to look smart. You don't want to look like somebody that need cash. You don't want to look rough. You have to look promising. You have to look smart, look enthusiastic, and look positive. Like this scholarship, this research, I have gotten it. So you just have to, speak to yourself and be very. So after the interview, you would love to, thank the professor. You have to show gratitude for you to have been invited, and you have to do a very good follow up. It is now time for us to look at possible questions that may be asked during an interview with a professor for your PhD or Masters program. Some of the questions that may be asked from past experience are: number one, can I meet you? Here, all you need to do is to state your academic background. You have to state your past research and research experience. You can state a number of publications and specific outcomes from those publications, and just be very brief. Then another question that may be asked is, why the university or the program? So you must have done a very good research about the university or the program. Here you need to state the mission statement, the goal of the program that you are going to study. You have to, tell us why you are applying for the program and say how inclusive the institution is. And you have to also say what impact this program would have on you, what impact the program would have on your career and your community or nation at large. Then there is also a popular question on What is your motivation? So this is a very deep question in most cases, and different individuals are usually motivated by different things. And the best way to answer this question is to state categorically the interest, the core interest that led to you selecting this area of research. And the best way you can drive your point home in this regard is to relate it with a story, is to relate a story that tells clearly how much you are interested and what connected you or what motivated you or what spurred you to have chosen this area of research. And most times or in most cases, it will be very interesting if you have, check the school website, check the professor, check his stories, check his background, check his research, and try as much as possible to relate your core motivation with things that are somehow or somewhat in common with his motivation. Be natural and check his story so that the point you are going to make here is in a way or maybe related to the supervisor that you are going to work with. Another popular interview question with a professor during an interview is why the group or professor? This question usually emanates because most professors are looking for a graduate student that when they join the group, they would be able to add success or value to the success story of the group. And for you to add value to a group, you have to understand what the group is all about. So it is very important for you to read some research, at least two research or two publications from that very group and know their research focus. So during interview, you will be able to have clarity of purpose with the research and the focus of the group. So reading two research or two publications from the group will help you to answer this question. So you will be able to align yourself with the focus of the very group. You have to know that it is important for you to know the research focus or the research interest of the professor even before you mail the professor in the first place. Knowing clearly his research focus or his research interest would help you in aligning your interest with his. So another popular and important question by a professor during an interview for a graduate school is why graduate school? This question is a very sensitive question because it's an important aspect of your mission. Please, you have to know that graduate school is not a place where you just get fully funded scholarship, where you just get free meals, or where you have your travel mission or JAPA mission. Graduate school is thorough, is challenging, and it's a place where you grow intellectually, you contribute to research, you contribute to knowledge, and you have to show in your response that you are ready for the journey and you are prepared. And you have to let the professor know that I haven't, understood this very part of a graduate school, that one of those things that motivates you is your dream to become a professor, to become an expert in a particular field, maybe pathologist, maybe machine learning expert, and all this could only be achieved in graduate school. So another important question that you can be asked is that you should summarize your past projects. Please and please, in response to this question, just state categorically your past research experience, probably from your undergraduate study, from your master's, or from your internship. And please don't exaggerate about the knowledge. Don't overstate the tools or the software used during the research or project. And at the same time, if you are attended conferences to present your research, You can state some of the conferences attended and be precise. Don't ensure that you want to, shine. Just state only what you have. You'll be asked question like, why should you be considered for this position? This type of question is a question that would give you avenue for you to sell yourself by responding with things like stating categorically the experience that you have. It could be your research experience, it could be your software or program experience, it could be your hands-on experience, and tell us the number of softwares you could use, the ones you have used in the past, and please don't also exaggerate about all this. State categorically your undergraduate research, what you learned from it, how you go about it, and probably possibly if you have publications, if you have done your masters, state the experience gathered from your masters programs, or even some other experience, maybe internship or other means that you must have garnered experience. So be ready to give a very good brief about your experience in terms of hands-on research and other experience. Another common interview question with a professor is any obstacles or challenges during this program. Obviously, the process of traveling for graduate school abroad, leaving your country, might be challenges, and you could face challenges like language, challenges like weather, food, culture, and so on. And you should know why these are hurdles to cross. You should state categorically that your career dream, your goal, is so important to you, and they are just little compared to the dream of you becoming a professor or an expert in a field that is taking you to that very graduate school in a country. And don't forget to cite a practical example of how you have surmounted or overcome this or such an experience or such a hurdle or challenges in the past. So be practical in your response to this question. Most interview questions with a professor usually end with any question for us or any question for me. Wow. This is not a time to say or a time where you just go mute. No, don't go mute. While the professor is concerned about or trying to ascertain how fit you are for the group or for the research, you can also ask questions that would, have a deep inquiry into how the research environment would support you, would support your mental health, would support your learning style, and that may require you to ask questions like are there opportunities in terms of career development? You can ask how many publications would you be required to have during the program, and at what stage would you be required to have your publications. Then you can ask questions like what is the amount of the funding that is available. Then you can also ask questions like the length of the program or the breakdown of the program and the timeline. So you can ask questions like, are there professional development opportunities available? So because asking questions would show how inquisitive or how inquiring you are, and most professors usually rate you well about all this. Don't forget, I said earlier that you need to reach out after the interview to show gratitude, to thank the professor for giving you that very opportunity to be interviewed. It's not an ordinary one because a whole number of candidates applied, and the professor must have received tons of mails, tons of applications, and for him to have reviewed yours and called you for interview, it's a great one. Don't forget to hit the subscription button. Don't forget to share and like.